Dear Manus, a very good afternoon to you all. MUN TV presents to you the news on day 1.
The arrival of Dr. the Honorable Vasant Kumar Banwari, the Minister of Education and Human Resources, set up the opening ceremony, which started with our national anthem, followed by Dona, a function with violin and ballet dance performed by a group of students of Eben Estate Secondary School girls, and which was prepared by music educator Mrs. Jade Pandu. Here is the following.
Mrs. Bihari Panre, the Assistant Director at the Ministry of Education and Human Resources, delivered a speech and yielded the floor to Mr. Satyavir Gopichan, the Secretary General of MUN 2013. Let's have an overview of MUN 2013 of the opening ceremony.
Very young age. He is now the head boy of the school. As a prefect and member of the Student Council, he was involved in a series of extracurricular activities and led an awareness campaign on AIDS and cancer. He did brilliantly at ST examinations. He participated in non-cane project writing and showed leadership qualities which enabled him to distinguish himself. He is a role model for his peers. He participated in the Commonwealth Youth Forum held in respect of the 13th Commonwealth Conference for Education Ministers in 2012. He represented Mauritius at the Amity International Model United Nations Conference 2012 in New Delhi, India, where he was awarded the Best Position Papers. He was also the chairperson for the Model African Union Conference held in April 2013. I have no doubt that he will exercise his role as the Secretary General with a sense of responsibility and commitment. I now have the pleasure of yielding the floor to the Secretary General of Men 2013. Thank you for attention. Mr. Secretary Kumar, Deputy Secretary.
Thank you, Mrs. Fowler, for this wonderful introduction. Dr. Honorable Vasant Kumar Banwari, Minister of Education and Human Resources, Dr. Tahir, Chief Technical Officer, Mrs. Asha Kanan, UN Economics Advisor, Directors of Parastatal Bodies, Rectors.
Dr. the Honorable Vasant Kumar Banwari, the Minister of Education and Human Resources, delivered his speech and declared the 70th Model United Nations Conference open.
To a sustainable future. And yet, what is the picture we see in the world today? Ultimately, what does the global landscape tell us? It tells us that the world has to wake up to the reality that poverty is playing havoc in many countries. That disease and hunger and war are taking a heavy toll on human spirit. Do you realize that some 28.5 million of the 57 million children out of school in 2011 live?
Afterwards, Mrs. Asha Kanan, the UNDP Economics Advisor, addressed the Assembly. Then came the moment of the launching of the first issue of a newsletter by Dr. the Honorable Vasant Kumar Banwari, the Minister of Education and Human Resources, who then proceeded with the drawing of lots for the countries to read their country statements.
Those distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to address you on behalf of Mr. Simon Springett, the UN Resident Coordinator, for this opening ceremony of the 17th Mauritius Model United Nations Conference 2013. The United Nations Systems in Mauritius takes this opportunity to extend our congratulations to the Ministry of Education and Human Resources for hosting the Model UN Conference and promoting the objectives and the values of the United Nations through this initiative for the past several years. The enthusiasm and the interest in the MUN conference is evident from the large number of students.
In order to allow the respective delegates to come forward on the stage to read their country statements, the DSG, Mr. Adarsh Jiwaji, made an announcement to them.
Solomon Islands is the first country to come forward to read the country statement. Solomon Islands.
Honorable Chairpersons, fair delegates, and other members of the House, greetings. Acknowledging the immediate call for support for the appreciative effort put forward by the UNDP line for a democratic society, which is to no doubt a mandatory.
Esteemed chairs, fellow delegates, guests, and members of our House, Assalamu alaikum. In this new millennium, everyone hopes for a new world. One without bloodshed and injustice. The nation believes that this can be the year in which 22 years of bloodshed in Somalia can be ended with effective mediation and support of the United Nations. Somalia has learned from the trauma of its own civil war, but people can be blinded by the situation they put themselves in.
In light of serious problems affecting the world, Uzbekistan has chosen a gradual reform path aimed at social stability and based on strong preferences for national independence government control and self-sufficiency. It also intensifies the political and economic reforms, modernizes the country, develops civil society, and on that basis, ensures greater.
Mr. Satyavir Gopichan, the Secretary General, invited Dr. the Honorable Vasant Kumar Banwari, the Minister of Education and Human Resources, to sign the pledge, working for a cause, not for applause.
For as the security officers are concerned, they were doing their jobs even during the lunchtime.
La jeune fille n'est pas à bouger les tarés. Restez en place.
The President of the Security Council, Mr. Ganesh Juahir, and Mrs. Bujwari, Technical Coordinator of MUN, gave their views on the day's events.
How are you dealing with the session of the Security Council?
Hello to you all before. Well, how am I dealing? I suppose it has a lot to do with how the delegates are responding to what we are giving them forth. And anyway, the council depends on them. Okay, and so far, I thought that the first session would be a test session about getting used to the proceedings and all, but they have surprised me, they have impressed me because they've got the hang of, of the proceedings of Security Council. They are coming more and more at ease with it, and I suppose that today itself, even tomorrow, and for the 3 days, we have a lot to expect from them. They're good.
And how the delegates are dealing with the proposed issues of the council?
Well, there's a fact that we had given them the issue since a month now, so they're well aware of what they need to speak. There are little, let's say, glitches about, specifics. I'm telling them to speak on one thing, and they're speaking on another. But it's just a question of bringing them back to order, and they have a hang of issues once more.
Thank you.
Yes, okay, tomorrow delegates should come well prepared. They should know all their parliamentary procedures, and also they should know all the resolutions. I hope they have prepared all the resolutions. They know their own resolutions, come up with good arguments, whether it is in favor of or against the resolution, but they should know everything about their own country and the other countries in their own delegations, in their own commissions. Sorry. It was a very good ceremony indeed, and the SG and GSG were both very well prepared. The SG had an excellent speech, and what I was really happy about was that all the delegates, heads of delegations, who came to read their country statements were very well versed in parliamentary procedures, and their speeches were very good indeed.
And the students will be able to understand better what is happening not only in their country but in the world. That is the important thing. The world has already become a global village. And usually all the developments that have taken place in the field of communication with IT technology and moving so fast ahead. The world is independent at any time, at any place. And therefore, it is so easy for us to understand what is happening in other countries. Previously, we used to take time to understand. Sometimes we have to send delegations in other countries to be able to know exactly what is happening so that we can take a step. The UN could take a step, other countries could understand. But now it is so easy. And therefore, I believe that our students should learn to develop that beautiful characteristic of trying to put yourself in the place of the other. And it is then that you'll understand his problem. And when you understand his problem, these are the problems of other countries, then you should be in a better position to take a stand. And in the UN, it is trying to bring people together. So when there are stands that are standing apart, it is the role of the UN to try to find a way out and bring people together. And this is one thing.
And the second thing is that we are living in a challenge. And honestly, school students, and students at university, students in training institutions, they are facing a major problem that is sustainability. And the problems have been created in the world by other generations before us. And if we talk of climate change, we talk of fossil.
With this, we have reached the end of the news bulletin. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you for your attention.